Your Majesty, Damrada muttered, looking back on his life. Will you listen to me, Damrada? What is it? If it's more boring complaining, please save it for Lady Valgrant. Or were you complaining at her, actually? Then bring it to her, not me. I don't want her to think I have a grievance with her, too. You really are a cold person, aren't you? But no, this is serious. What is it? He didn't want to know. He knew from the moment he looked into Ludora's eyes that this was a serious matter, but if he heard about it, their current relationship would cease to exist, and Damrada didn't want that. So it appears that every time I reincarnate, it wears my heart out a little bit. That of the soul the way Guy describes it, but either way, if this goes on long enough, I may wind up not being me any longer. The resurrections of the hero Ludora were not magical in nature. They involved a special ritual, crafted to help the new body inherit the old one's overblown magic force. This was the cost for becoming both a god among mankind, and the owner of a force that even surpassed that of a true dragon, the ultimate spiritual life form. It was up to Ludora and his own skills to manage that process. Damrada had no solution for him. The wearing of the soul, you say? And it would cause your Majesty to cease being yourself. Right. That's a funny joke. But I'm not so naive as to take it seriously and reduce your workload, you know. Ash. Still all serious like that, huh? I think that's what I'm best at, yes. Haha. Maybe so, yeah. Well, forget about it. Stupid to ask anyway. I will do just that, then. There was no forgetting. Damrada was just running away from it. He wanted to serve Ludora forever, maintaining the current relationship they had. So time passed. Ah, I knew it. Every time I'm reborn, it seems, I lose something important to me, little by little. The problem is, I don't even know what. Your Majesty. Hey Damrada. Yes. This is an order. When I am no longer myself, I want you to kill me by your own hand. Emperor Ludora. I can't really ask Valgrant to do it, can I? Damrada struggled mightily to keep himself from saying he couldn't do it, either. This was the heartfelt wish of his best friend Ludora. There was no way he could deny him. That is a terribly weak-minded thing for you to say, my liege. But should that happen, I promise you that I will settle your affairs for you. So please, I hope you can rest assured as you go about your political duties. Hee. You never change, do you? Then it's settled. It was a promise made on a distant day. And time marched on again. I'm tired. I can only keep Michael, Lord of Justice, from going out of control for so long. Absolute justice is no better than evil, when you get down to it, for there's no such thing as a justice that can be accepted by all. Your Majesty. Damrada, do you remember your promise with me? Of course I do, my liege. Ludora smiled. Good, then. He changed his expression, giving a stern order. Damrada, I hereby order you. You must find someone who can overcome Michael, Lord of Justice, and defeat me, should you yourself fail at it. It pains me to ask you to do this, but while I am still myself, I need to take all possible precautions. The order was tantamount to Ludora asking Damrada to wipe him from existence. But Damrada had no choice but to nod. You have my word, Your Majesty. Thank you, Ludora replied. And my apologies. His eyes pointed far away, his speech pointed toward no particular target. This Michael was entrusted to me by a friend, but looking back, it might have been too much power for me. Whether I win or lose my game against Guy, I think next time will be the last occasion I ever use it. I intend to use it well, but if you see any signs of it going out of control, please do not hesitate. Stop it, and stop me as well. Yes, my liege. Please. Ludora closed his eyes, recalling the oath he had given to Veldanava the Star King Dragon long ago, and feeling frustrated at his inability to keep it. A small murmur escaped from his mouth. If you fail at this promise, I will apologize to you in the afterlife. Damrada, pretending not to hear it, quietly left the room. Choking on the blood seeping out from his own mouth, Damrada was brought back to reality. He seemed to have lost consciousness for a few tenths of a second. Your Majesty, I owe you an apology. You gave me your orders, and I failed to fulfill them. In his inner consciousness, already threatening to fade again, Damrada attempted to state an apology. But it was not to be. All he did was cough up blood again. There was regret. But there was also relief. To Damrada, the edict to seek out someone to kill his beloved master was nothing but pain. It had made him suffer for far too long. And of course it would, because to Damrada, Emperor Ludora was every bit the brilliant hero he had always been. How could I ever kill the one who I value so much? Why did it have to be me? Couldn't it have been someone else? Without you, I would have no lingering regrets about this world. I would gladly join you on your journey to the afterlife. That was what Damrada truly felt. The game between Ludora and Guy was of no importance to him. What mattered was Ludora's will, and the way that will was reflected by the world. Guy Crimson was an arrogant demon lord, but he was no tyrant who refused to listen to reason. His rule was absolute, but he still worked on a proper framework of rules that he stuck to. He and Ludora had different ideals, but they weren't incompatible with each other. From Damrada's point of view, they could have come to a mutually acceptable agreement. He would never move on his own. Ludora was sure of it. That must have been why he issued his orders to Damrada. But if they understood each other that well, why did they even bother keeping up with this game? It made Damrada wonder, but there was no way he could disobey Ludora, so in the end, he carried the order out. The journey would bring him all around the world, but after leaving the Emperor's side for many years, he found the right candidate. This was Yuki Kagurazaka, a boy who had the extremely unusual ability anti-skill. Even ultimate skills could be nullified by this, Damrada was overjoyed to find. He was glad to find something that could work against Michael, Lord of Justice, but the results were disastrous. Yuki was now square in Ludora's hands and could no longer be relied upon. So Damrada lost his ace in the hole, but now another question arose. Why did His Majesty try to rule over Yuki? Ultima reacted to the unintended murmuring. Damrada didn't answer it. Ludora himself ordered Damrada to find someone who could kill him. Why would he then interfere with that effort? Or maybe Damrada just didn't want to admit it. The signs were there from the beginning. So it really was true. His Majesty, Emperor Ludora. He's already. Damrada kept muttering as if suffering from a high fever. What are you talking about? Ultima was sounding clearly irritated, but her voice would never reach him. He was far too absorbed in his own thoughts, a pre-death moment of clarity. His mind was sharper than ever, and now it could arrive at the truth. Ludora burned with his ideals, his drive to unite the world and establish a lasting peace. He dreamed of an end to conflict and poverty, and the rise of a more developed mankind. Only when the entire world was united and at peace could everyone live as true equals. Believing this, Ludora set out to establish a united nation. He believed humans have the innate ability to understand each other, and from the bottom of his heart, he knew they could all unite under one will to create a better world. So he became a hero, serving all mankind, facing great hardship as he did. He never stopped pursuing his struggle, hoping it would bring smiles to the faces of as many people as possible. And Damrada loved him for it. But even now, Ludora's ideals had ended while they were still a dream. He himself had changed too much before the day that dream came true. The ideals we pursued were crushed long ago. Damrada finally had to admit it. It wrapped his mind in sadness. Are you crying? Yes. Because you're afraid to die? No. My promise. You promise? Yes. Inescapable death had Damrada in its hands, refusing to let go. He could accept that much is inevitable, yet the one thing he couldn't stand was not being able to keep his promise to Ludora. But if Ludora's original will was long gone, then who really was Ludora now? There was just one answer. It was the ultimate skill, Michael, Lord of Justice, unchanged from when Veldanava the Star King Dragon gave it to him. Damrada needed to carry out Ludora's orders before his spirit fully collapsed, but his life was running out before that could ever happen. He wanted to curse his own incompetence, but even now, he decided the situation was not at its worst. He had to stop Michael at all costs, and if he failed, he needed to find someone to entrust the task to. That was Ludora's order to him, the promise he had to keep, and he had found Yuki for that. But there was one other candidate he had in mind. Rimuru, the fearsome demon lord, his greatest enemy and also his greatest hope. I want you to kill His Majesty. Kill Ludora for me. Why me? It doesn't have to be you. Can you at least relay the message to the demon lord Rimuru for me? Aw, come on, let me do the honors. Cause I'm sure open to taking the job. I was planning to kill the Ludora guy anyway. Ultima was always up for satisfying a new whim. She wasn't going to take this job for free, but she did have a liking for Damrada. They had fought for only a short time, but for someone with an infinite lifespan like Ultima, battle was about quality over quantity anyway. This was an intense battle, packed with ups and downs from start to finish, and after that experience, she was willing to forgive just about everything. Then let me ask you one more favor. What? Protect him. Protect the boy Masayuki. Damrada was fully convinced. Masayuki was the one. Well, sure, I guess. But you got a reward for me, right? Demons never worked for free. That wasn't an absolute rule. There were plenty of loopholes, but Ultima was feeling selfish. She wanted to annoy Damrada a little, so that's the approach she took. But the question still relieved Damrada. He felt a new peace, like his heart had been freed. Your reward is all of me. I entrust you with my soul, and all of my skills, etched deep into my body. That'll work, I guess. Ultima reluctantly agreed, making Damrada break out in a smile. And then, Your Majesty, I will come to you now. Those were Damrada's last words. He breathed his last and died, as if falling asleep. So the curtain finally came down on the long life of Damrada, Lord of the Fist, former Prime Minister of the Kingdom of Nazca, and close personal friend of its united Emperor, Ludora Namal Nazca. Now Ultima stood alone in the battle arena of an alternate dimension. Well, that's no fun. His heart cord disappeared on me. I was gonna offer it to Suramura, too. Despite that saddened muttering, Ultima still gently wrapped Damrada's body in her 12 wings. As they agreed upon, she took all of him as her own, and that was the end of the battle between the two. One Lord of the Fist ended his life, and a new demon of the Fist was born. Damrada, at the very end of his life, had given one of the worst demons in history, one of the most dreadful powers known to mankind. If he knew about this, would it have filled him with shame? But would he be happy to learn that his craft would be used by a third generation? Now that Damrada was gone, there was no way to know. It would be up to the survivors to carefully weigh the fallout.